We are talking about introducing your child to a new partner, a partner that is not their biological parent. We're going to be delving into this issue. We're going to be in discussion with Siyathokoza Nsizwane, who is a life and relationship coach, as well as the founder of SN Transformative Coaching. As we all know, it's normal to seek solace, companionship, as well as a new relationship after a breakup. It's crucial to take it slow so you can assess whether the relationship is casual or might be permanent, because I don't think as a parent you want to be introducing your kids or your children to multiple partners. And introducing a new partner to your kids can be painful if the kids are hoping their parents will reconcile. Siyathokoza, good afternoon. Welcome to Living Redefined.
Hi, Sechaba. How are you guys? Thank you so much for having me.
We are well. Thank you for making the time. We're talking about introducing your child to a new partner or a partner that is not their biological parent. This can be a tricky one, I guess, for obvious reasons. Take us through this and when the right time would be.
Okay. So when it comes to children, we must be very mindful of their readiness. So whenever you bring someone into your child's life or into your life, it's no longer just about you, but also the child as well. So especially in the case where the person who's coming in is not their biological parent, there might be some dynamics of the child is still in somewhat way hoping that their parents might reconcile. So it's very important that whenever you're thinking of introducing someone into your child's life, that you are mindful of their child's readiness. Like, do you feel like they're psychologically and emotionally ready for you to bring someone into their life? And it can't be, you basically took the words out of my mouth when you said that you need to take it slow. And by doing that, you don't want to just bring any person that you're not sure of.
Absolutely.
So you got to make sure that, So you got to make sure that the person that you're bringing into the relationship, you've established where the relationship is going. Do you see yourself with this person long term? Do you see yourself do you see this person fitting into your family? Are they child orientated? Do they love children? So it's very important to consider such things before bringing any stranger into your child's life. So if you're casually dating, rather be sure and find someone that you feel like, okay, I see where this might potentially go. I see things going the long run, and I see building a life with this person. So there's no specific timeline, as in maybe in the next 6 months or in a year.
That was precisely my follow-up question to say, I think as parents, I'm still married to my children's biological father, but I can only imagine if, for whatever reason, if anything didn't work out, I would be very pedantic about a time frame. Is a month enough? Is 2 months enough? Because there's a lot to consider. So you did mention that there isn't a specific time frame. It's more so you going with your gut feeling and understanding what this person is bringing to the table. But let's look at the ways that you can break those news to a little one. I think more so the younger ones. If they're older, like teens, teens can actually be quite intense as well, hey? I gave my mom I gave my mom a hard time when she started dating my stepdad.
Yeah,
She's
me
probably sitting
too.
listening, going, but no, we have a good relationship now. But I gave her a hard time, and in hindsight, I feel bad. But that's why I had to take it back and be like, the teens can also be hectic. But I think once they're 18 and above, it becomes easier. The little ones, it's a little bit more fragile because they still have this idea of this perfect family, mommy and daddy together. So, what would be the best way to break those particular news?
Okay, so once you've established that you want to be with this person in the long run, and you see them fitting into your family dynamic with your child, outdoor activities I must recommend, because you want to bring that person and your child together in an environment that is not going to be stressful. So you want everyone to be relaxed and be themselves, so that you can kind of like have a clear picture on how your child and your partner are engaging, and just see like how the dynamics between the two of them or the three of you are working like together. So you want to be in a place where it's less stressful, maybe like in like an amusement park or things like that, but it has to be like outdoors and not really like a meeting set up stressful environment. And I wouldn't, with the smaller ones, I wouldn't really advise you to initially from the get-go introduce that person as your partner. Rather start out as like introducing them as your friend. Oh, we're going, we have
Uncle Mang or
Uncle Mama and things like that. Like we have you set like a time, a date where you guys can just go outside, have a very relaxed day, and then where your child and your partner can like engage. And then afterwards you can like ask for your child like feedback. So did you enjoy your day out with so and so? What did you think about them? To kind of have a feel on if your child is actually, somewhat like ready to have another person. Because remember, when you're a single parent, your child is used to you giving them all their attention. So now if you, from the get-go, introduce this person as your partner, and they might, not really accept that the way that you'd want to. There might be some resistance because children are like, especially little ones, they're kind of possessive over their parents. Absolutely. And they might feel threatened by the new partner and feel like they're coming in to take you away from them and things like that. So you must like ease it out, go occasionally on days out with them and just engage and just kind of observe how your partner and your child are interacting with one another.
Okay, so there's no need to put pressure with regards to labels in the initial stage. I'm taking your calls officially. 011-714-2006. We're speaking about introducing your children to a new partner or a partner that is not their biological parent. Have you been in this particular position? Have you witnessed or have been around or have a relationship with someone close in your life who you've seen this unfold? We'd love to hear from you either via our calls or WhatsApps. All right, let's take a quick listen to a voice note. All right, just a bit of an issue there with our voice notes. We are in conversation with Siyathokoza. Siyathokoza, back to you. Let's speak about the importance of going with your child's feeling, your child's intuition. How important is it? Like, for instance, if you see that your child is uncomfortable with the process of you inviting this new person into your lives, how important is it to then trust your child's intuition?
That's very important because we have to remember that even though children are little, they're still human beings. They still have intuition. They still, like us, we can sense when something's wrong or you're uncomfortable in a place. So it's important to acknowledge your child's discomfort, to acknowledge your child's feelings and kind of just sit down with them and just ask them, okay, why I see that when so-and-so is around, you act a certain way. Do you want to talk to mommy or talk to daddy about it? Like, what's wrong? Like, how are you feeling about the situation? Sit down with your child, talk to them, get to understand where they're coming from and why they're reacting the way that they're reacting. Because I think, especially in Black communities, we tend to like dismiss our children and not really hear them out. But we forget that they have emotions, they're human beings, and they have something to say, and they will give you your honest opinion. So don't disregard your child's emotions or feelings, because you're not just bringing this person into your own life, but you bring this person into your child's life as well. And you want this relationship between the three of y'all to work out. So if there's any discrepancies or any concerns, it's important to address them right away and find out how you can try and resolve it if there's a resolve.
All right, we're in conversation with Siyathokoza and Nsizwane. She's a life and relationship coach here, ready to take your tips as well as questions. Are you stuck and don't know how to introduce your child to a new partner? This is your opportunity to get that advice and to engage Siyathokoza. Let's speak about the relationship not working out. Say, for instance, you trusted your gut, you went with the flow, you went with what felt right, went in and introduced a new partner, and then it just didn't turn out right. Like, if that is something that happens, or if there's a pattern that arises from that, what are some of the psychological ramifications when coming to your kids?
Oh my word. I mean, life happens. We've all been in where we saw like things going well and I can see this person in the wrong run. But the worst thing is having your child attached to this person and then having to come and explain to them that Uncle so and so and Aunt so and so is no longer gonna be in our lives, again. So it does have a psychological effect on children, just like how divorced parents their divorce plays a role in their child's life and it affects them emotionally and psychologically. So when that happens as well, it's important that you give your child time and you explain what happened in the best way, how to them, but not really like shaming the person because they had a connection with them. They probably still love them and things like that. It's important to sit down, explain to them that Uncle so-and-so or Aunt so-and-so is no longer in our lives anymore, but they still care for you. They still love you. I'm still here. And give your child time to grieve, that relationship because it's just going to be as hurtful as you and their biological parents not being together. So it's like the grieving process will start again from scratch as if it was you and their biological parents.
Absolutely. All right, let's take a listen to a couple of voice notes.
I guess it should be much more easier to introduce girl children as opposed to boys because boys, no matter their age, are pretty protective towards their own mothers. What is your take, KJ?
Hi, Sechaba. This is Bongane in Durban. Hey, you see, this topic is very, very, very touching. But you see, me as a man, I am not actually happy, and I'm not happy if my child is gonna be introduced to the other man, and also I'm not happy if my partner is gonna introduce me to her children. No. This is not good for the children. See, if we're in relationship, let it be our business, not the children. Thank you.
Mashaba, how are you? I'm Nathan K from Bombera. Mashaba, I would like to separate these children into two categories, the grown up children and the younger ones, because the way you treat the younger one is not the way you treat the older one. Because somebody might come when you have daughters who are 18 and above, you understand, with the time when he's not well behaving, then he falls in love with your children instead of staying with you. So we should separate these children into two categories, the younger one and the older one. Mama Chaba, have a nice day. I'm Nathan K from Bombera. Bye.
All right, we're in conversation with Siyathokoza Nsizwane. She's a life and relationship coach. We're talking about introducing your children to a new partner. Siyathokoza, as you're listening to those, I think the first one was quite a valid point. The difference with boy children and girl children, and boy children being a little bit more protective and possessive when coming more so to their mothers. If you can maybe just unpack that with regards to the gender of the child. And then the second voice note coming through there saying men generally don't want or aren't accepting of their kids being introduced to other men or to another man. And I think that's just opposed to when it's the other way around. I think women tend to be a little bit more lenient. And then the safety element, if you have older kids, even younger kids, I don't even think it applies to older kids. Just one note, guys. Sechaba, even now we're near November, Sechaba, please. All right, you can take over, Siyathokoza.
Okay, when it comes to male children being more protective of their mothers, you do see it. You do see it in families. Like boy children want nothing of their mothers, which is natural. But the reason for them being like that and being protective is because they their mom is like they treasure. They love their mom. And they don't want anyone to come and break the mom's hearts. They probably maybe seen it in the relationship that they had with their biological father. So it's natural. But like the more you allow your child to be acquainted with your mother, especially the male child, to be acquainted with your partner, the more that that kind of like guard or wall will be broken down. Like if they see, especially that their mom is happy and that this partner makes the mom happy, like their walls will kind of naturally go down, and they see, okay, this person makes my mom happy, and there's nothing that I need to be on edge about or to be protective about. But it's definitely natural. But as time goes on, and that they see that you're happy in the relationship, and that they this person has good intentions, their guard will like kind of naturally go down, and they'll be more comfortable with the idea of their mom having someone else in their life.
All right. And the conversation around men, I tend to see this and observe it, that men do get touched when their kids have to be introduced to their ex's partner, and not vice versa.
Men are kind of like territorial beings. Yeah, which I feel like it's definitely unfair. If you feel, if your relationship with your previous partner has ended, and you're probably in another relationship or not, and you see that your former wife or your former girlfriend that you have a child with has now found a person, and that they feel that, you know, they would love to introduce to their child because this relationship is serious, I don't feel it's fair for them to kind of dictate if the new partner can or cannot see their child, because you've got to trust your wife, your former wife's judgment. So you have to know that they're smart human beings. They probably took their time with this relationship and kind of seen that, okay, this is the appropriate time to introduce this person to my child, because eventually probably they're going to get married one day. So how long will you be like, no, this person can't see my child? Because they, believe it or not, they are going to be in your child's life. So rather, get comfortable with the idea that your former wife or your former girlfriend is going to move on with their life. Absolutely. They are going to find someone else that they love and they want to spend the rest of their life with. And that will also include them being in your child's life. And trust your former wife's judgment. Know that they took their time. They're a sound person. They have a sound mind. They're wise. They're not just going to bring anybody into your child's life who they feel
will be of harm or malice or anything like that.
Here, there, and everywhere. SAFM 106.6 FM in Mangaung.
Just admit Sechaba. Children, they'll just tolerate the stranger into their lives. They don't accept and they'll never accept. 3 weeks ago, I was relaxing with my family. My great daughter asked me a question. Daddy, if Mama marries another man, what will you do? I was stuck. I said, nothing. I'll be happy. And you? She said, no, I won't be happy. I said, why? Because you'll go with your mother and this other man. I said, no, I'll stay with my father. Why? I don't want another man near my mother. That was the answer. Lisa from Brixton.
I would like to...
This is Tammy from Kimberley. I see a lot of white families can go to a picnic with the previous partner and the child being there, and they see nothing wrong. It's like two partners that used to be together, and the other one is with the other person and the other one is with the other person, and they have a child together and they can go to a picnic together and it's normal. Hey, I don't know with black people. Yo. I go shube.
We're talking or in conversation with Siyathokoza Nsizwane, who's a life and relationship coach, and talking about introducing your children or child to a new partner. I got a tweet come through from Dear Trouble Girl. She says, Dumelang Bagaetsho, last year I introduced my partner to my son. My boy did not waste time. He told him straight in the eye, I don't like you and don't ever come here. He was 4 years at that time and the guy was so sad, but kids see things before we do. Siyathokoza, there's a lot of that as well, just that awkwardness of vocal kids. Do you think perhaps they're sensing something?
Yeah, I was that child because my mom, just a backstory, my mom introduced, my dad died, and then my mom started dating, and then she introduced, I was in primary at that time, introduced this new guy, to us. And I was like that 4-year-old child. I was like, I don't like this person.
And children are
Like, who's this?
vocal, you know?
Very, very. I was definitely that child. And I think for me, I saw a threat. Like the reason why I did that is because, my mom was single for like a long time, for like over 10 years after my dad died. So now this new person coming in now and, trying to take my mom away from me, that's how I saw it. I saw this person as a threat instead of like as someone who's going to be an addition to our family. Instead of seeing them as someone, oh, okay, I get like another male figure that I can call dad maybe. But I saw a threat instead of seeing them as an additional member of our family. And that happens to children. It's natural. And sometimes it's not because they're sensing something negative, but it's because that they genuinely just feel like this person's coming to take their mom or their dad away from them.
All right.
Just give them time. Give them time, allow them to get used to the person and sit with them, explain to them, like, baby, this is so-and-so. I'm if you've already like made that step to actually announce them as your partner, explain to them, this is my partner. They're not here to steal me away from you, and you're still gonna have your mommy time or your daddy time with me. Because one mistakes that we do, Sechaba, in relationships is that when a new relationship comes along, we tend to focus so much on the relationship and all our energy on the relationship, and we tend to neglect the child. And their defense mechanism is reacting in the way that 4-year-old child did. So you kind of need to, because it's natural in new relationships, you want to spend all your time with your person, but you must not forget that you still have a child, that now you got to slowly transition into being a single parent and not really having a person in your life to now having a child and a person in your life, and both of them need your attention. So you need not to neglect the other. Still continue to do those activities that you used to do with your child, while finding the balance to also spend time with your partner, so that it's kind of like a smooth transition, and it's not like you were just ripped off from your child's life, because that's how they would feel, that this person just came and took my mom away from me, or just came and took my dad away from me. So it's important to kind of find the balance between spending time with the two of them and even together, so that your child doesn't feel threatened by this new person, and they feel involved.
Absolutely. On top of that, give us maybe one or two more tips in terms of how a parent can reassure their child that everything is okay and your position as my baby or my child is not going to be compromised because I'm no longer with your biological father or mother.
Yeah. First of all, it must be established, because children generally have this idea that mommy and daddy are still going to get back together. So you got to establish, the both of you and your ex got to really establish with your children that no, mommy and daddy are better apart, and there's no chance that mommy and daddy will ever get back together. And once that idea has settled into, their minds and in their emotions, and they've grieved that idea that, no, this is not going to be the reality of our family, we're going to have a blended family. Then when you have a partner, like I said, don't just spend so much time with your partner and then like neglect your child, or don't show up to their soccer matches anymore, or don't read them storybooks again like at night like you used to, because you're always out with your partner, or you're always doing activities with your partner. So a sense of reassurance that no, mommy is not going anywhere. Mommy is still mommy. Mommy or daddy are still, we're still going to be doing the activities that we used to do together, so that your child doesn't feel like you being stolen away from them. So a way of reassuring them is continuing to do the activities that you used to do with your child. Maybe not as often or as frequently as you used to, but it's important every now and then go to their soccer practice and make sure that the schedule of your child's activities that you used to do with them do not clash with your time out with your man, so that man or women, so that they don't feel neglected or left out. And also include them in like activities that you do together with your partner. Go together, like every once in a while, go out with your child. It's important for them to feel included, so that they feel like they are part of what you guys have, and not just someone that's sitting on the sideline being ignored, begging for their parents' attention.
Absolutely. And I hope in that case, one can only hope that the person that you're bringing into your life, one, either has kids of their own, because that's another whole conversation for another day. And secondly, wants to be involved as a, not necessarily, I'd say a parent, but you do naturally. Is that not the case? Somewhat become a
definitely.
parent.
Yes, even though they're not going to be, they're never going to be that child's biological parents, but you do kind of adopt that role of being a parent,
a guardian of some sort.
Yes, a guardian, and even though you must not force it, it must come like naturally. Because your child and that person that you're seeing, it's important for them to also establish a relationship on their own outside of you, because that's what you want. You want your child to be acquainted with this person. You want them to get used to them and even like them. So how does that happen? Like you get more fond of a person, or you get to know a person by spending more time with them. Yes. Yeah. So every now and again, leave them together. Maybe if you in an event outside, doing an activity, every now and again, just slip away, go do something else, not too far away, and just kind of allow them to engage and get to know each other and stuff. So, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
We're in conversation with Siyathokoza Nsizwane, who's a life and relationship coach. We're talking about introducing your child or children to a new partner, a partner that is not their biological parents.
Living Redefined with Sechaba Gqeba, 1 to 3 p.m. Weekdays only on SAFM.
It's natural, Sechaba. It's not about being unfair or not, as your guest is saying. We are just being territorial. It comes with within our nature as men. We just can't help it. If my ex moves on with my child, I want to make sure that my child is safe, and obviously myself entering a new relationship where there was a child before, the ex-boyfriend will obviously make sure that my current girlfriend is looking after the child very well. It's just how it is as us as men. It comes with who we are naturally. So, Limbon.
Sechaba, I think there's many means that we can make to win the hearts of our children. If you introduce me as your partner into your children, they will be sour. But if you can introduce a guy that is coming to do plumbing oftenly at home, then they won't be that sour. So that simply means we can take things slowly. I can always come and just be helpful. Then we don't cuddle. I just come, maybe I fix something or I drop something out. Then they get used to, like me and them, we get used to each other. Then I think it's gonna be easy for them to accept me as your new partner.
I love the part about I could just come in and handle the plumbing and not make it look like a romantic relationship initially. This is a lot.
Yeah.
This is a lot. I'm just thinking of individuals who have to go through this, It's very important because we also live in South Africa. There's also the safety element. I think even if you're based anywhere in the world, safety comes into play. You've got to be very, very careful and read the situation with regards to the type of person you're bringing into your home and introducing to your kids. So this is layered on so many levels. Yeah. But Siyathokoza, I'm just looking at the time in closing and quickly reflecting on the questions that came through to the show. What would you want to say in parting to parents who are wanting to introduce their children to new partners, or perhaps in the process of doing so?
Yeah. First thing, what I want to say is that, as a parent, even going out into the dating world, knowing that you have a child, someone that you love and you care for them and you you looking out for their safety. It has to be like a scary thing, especially even introducing your partner to your child, because there's two people that you love, and you just inside you're hoping and praying that they get along, or that they love each other, or this works out. So it really takes bravery. So I commend parents who are even, going out into the dating scene and wanting, to find happiness again, and, looking for that love. And I commend them for that. Having said that, I just want to say that always remember that whenever you're in a relationship and you have a child, that relationship is not just affecting you, but also affecting your child.
Absolutely.
So whenever you're bringing another person into the picture, always be mindful of, like I said earlier, the readiness of your child. And if this person fits the mold of your family, fits your family life, and do they actually love kids? Because that's a very important factor, because you are someone who has a child. And so be very mindful of your child, and if they're ready for you to have another person. And also take things slow. There's no rush, there's no time frame that says no, after 6 months they must meet. As long as you've established that this is the person that you see going the long run with, then definitely introduce them to your child, and just see how that goes, and try and navigate that as best as you can possible.
All right. A big thanks to Siyathokoza Nsizwane. She's a life and relationship coach. We're speaking about introducing your children to a new partner.